I hate to focus on her so much recently, but she's been making some moves, some questionable moves, including now selling block shares because she wants to double down on Nvidia. Nvidia just announced yesterday that their numbers, their forecast for the remaining of this year is going to be horrible. All right. So basically, they already came out and just told the market, hey, don't expect us to have spectacular numbers for the remaining of this year and for this quarter because they're looking bad. And Nvidia did drop quite a bit yesterday. I had numbers up. So yesterday it dropped like 6 or 7%. Today they're down about 3%, right? So Nvidia came out with that. And you know what? Cathie Wood, I guess she really, really, really loves Nvidia because she decided to sell her block shares. She had quite a lot, and she's dumped it at a loss, and she wanted to double down on Nvidia, right? So there's a pattern here, right? Block, we know, is led by Jack Dorsey, and also what I consider a Bitcoin-related stock because Block themselves hold a lot of Bitcoin. They're very focused on Bitcoin. Jack Dorsey is one of the biggest Bitcoin bulls out there, and Block is working on many Bitcoin innovations, such as a wallet and getting on utilizing Lightning Network and coming out with a mining chip. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff that's related to the Bitcoin, right? So this could be seen as Cathie Wood dumping on Bitcoin. It's the same thing with Coinbase. She just dumped Coinbase at a massive loss to buy Shopify. And even though Coinbase is down 6% today, she dumped Coinbase around $58, $59. So since then, she's lost about what? 80, 90%? No, probably like 80% growth since she's dumped Coinbase. So obviously that was a bad move in hindsight. And I guess we'll track, we'll track dumping Block, and we'll see how that turns out. So unfortunately, these are two Bitcoin-related stocks that Cathie Wood has and ARK decided to dump, and it's not looking good. And I've always said, don't try to outsmart the market. And she certainly seemed like she wants to, or maybe because she loves Nvidia. Whatever the case is, it's just right now, selling right now at a bottom doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All right, what else is going on? Well, Celsius. Celsius obviously is going through bankruptcy hearing right now, and there's a whole bunch of people that do not like Alex Mashinsky. Basically, they're investigating him alone, and his conduct and his problematic asset deployment decisions. So they're not liking what he has done so far. In fact, they wanted to sell off their mining business. So that's a turn of events. So I thought one of the paths for Celsius to recover was to actually continue and double down on their mining service so that they could utilize the profits, which they said they will sell off, and repay the depositors. That seems like that's no longer the plan. So according to this, they actually blocked the decision or this idea of selling off. Here we go. Actually, it wasn't them. The Texas State Security Board last week urged the U.S. court to deny Celsius' request to sell its mined Bitcoin, citing over concerns about whether funds generated would help spurn users rather than company. Okay, my mistake. This is to sell off its mined Bitcoin, not its Bitcoin mining operation. So that was my mistake. But there are many parties involved, including the Texas State Board, which is afraid that the selling off of Bitcoin will just go into pockets of Alex and others, the head of the companies. So anyways, there's just still a lot of things being discovered right now. Not a good situation, obviously, you guys know, but this is continuing forward. All right, speaking of Bitcoin mining, and of course, Bitcoin mining is very, very important to Bitcoin's health and growth. There are still a lot of miners that are still growing, right? Miners are just not giving up. They are the backbone of Bitcoin, and they continue to move forward and grow bigger, right? We have seen reports from Mara and Hut 8 and all the pretty much the biggest North American miners they're all holding every single Bitcoin they mine. They're not selling anything off right now. So Bitcoin industry is definitely, or Bitcoin mining industry is definitely getting bigger and stronger each and every day. Coinbase crashed and burned. They reported absolutely horrible earnings for Q2. Way worse than people expected. But here's the kicker though. Even though they went down massively today and in aftermarket, it's still higher than when Cathie Wood sold. So that's important to note. So if you're thinking, well, Cathie Wood expected this, so they sold early. This is still like 50% higher than where she sold it at. So just to put things in perspective. However, Coinbase is definitely suffering right now. They lost over $1 billion alone in Q2. $1 billion. Okay, their loss was basically double of what people expected. The revenue came down lower. And of course, this is due to crypto winter, right? We had pretty bad 8 months so far since December, right? So obviously Coinbase is not doing well, but they have, decided to cut their overall force by 18%, I believe. I think they got rid of their affiliate program. I heard that was cut, and overall, if you're looking at everything else that they're doing, they halted new jobs, or they withdrawed job offers. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, right? So Coinbase did not do well at all. Okay, so unfortunately, we would love to think that Coinbase is on top of the world, being the biggest exchange in the US, and basically with millions of people trading, they should be immune to crypto winter or massive periods of downward pressure, right? But unfortunately, it seems like they're not that well positioned. At least, I don't know, because they are a publicly traded company. So, right now we hear about FTX, like trying to buy out everyone, right? No one knows their books because they're not publicly traded. No one knows, right? So who knows? Maybe other exchanges are in worse shape, but they're just hiding it. We don't know, right? But Coinbase is definitely suffering. Now, with that said, is Coinbase going to go under? Do I think they're going to go bankrupt and go under? No, I don't think so at all. They are still massive. They still have millions of users, and they still have plenty of crypto. Most of the OTC trades all happen in Coinbase. They just signed a huge partnership with BlackRock. Not to say that we want BlackRock in the space, but BlackRock choosing Coinbase as a partner to get institutional adoption, right? That is absolutely massive. Coinbase also offers the most insurance for their custodian service, right? And they are one of the biggest Bitcoin custodians in the world, if not the biggest. So again, even with this, I think they're going to survive and they're going to move forward. And the funny thing is, the biggest irony to this is, I mentioned about Cathie Wood, right? She still sold way too early. But her own analysts are coming out and saying that they're bullish on Coinbase and Block. Okay, this morning I just covered how Cathie Wood just sold off Block to buy Nvidia, right? And obviously she sold off Coinbase like a week ago. But her own analyst from ARK Invest is coming out saying they're bullish for Coinbase and Block. How does that make sense? Did they not talk to each other? Right? I don't know. That's the irony of this. After ARK Invest sells off both, now they're coming out and saying they have a bullish outlook for both. You tell me how that makes sense. I don't know how that makes sense. This analyst probably didn't get the okay to say what she did. Or maybe she did. I don't know. But again, that's the irony of the whole situation there, right? Still, I maintain my thesis that Cathie Wood probably should not have sold Coinbase to buy Shopify. Should have held it on, right? And same thing with Block. Selling both at dirt low, massive loss prices doesn't help, right? And her own analysts agree. So I don't get what that means exactly. So you decide. If you are new to the space and you're looking to buy your very first Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other crypto, head over to CryptosRus.com and click on Best Crypto Exchanges. This will give you a list of all the major exchanges out there to choose from.